Have you ever bought something that maybe you weren't even looking for just because as you listened to the person who was selling it or you watched that ad, it was just so compelling? You're like, oh gosh, I have to have this. Well, that's exactly the kind of energy we want to create in your seasonal color analysis business. So let's talk about how to become irresistible to the people who you were meant to serve. Hi there, I'm Joan Kosmichuk, your seasonal color, style, and confidence coach, and I help color and style consultants like yourself build big, beautiful, meaningful businesses that feel aligned and magnetic. And today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite C words, and that word is compelling. When your business is truly compelling, you don't have to push or persuade or hard sell to get business. People just feel something. They see your work and they naturally want to know more. So let's explore how to make that happen in your business with 4 key areas to focus on. And here are the 4 keys that we're going to cover today: how to have a compelling angle, a compelling message, a compelling story, and compelling visuals. So let's start with a compelling angle. This is the way you position your work so people immediately figure out how you fit into their life. This is often captured in your tagline, your elevator pitch, or the vibe of your Instagram bio. But there's a trick because your angle isn't just what you do, it's the difference that you make. That's what makes it compelling. Okay, so you want to ask yourself, when I am at my best, how do I make people feel? Or what change do I create in people's lives because of the work that I'm doing with them? Or what part of this work really lights me up and makes me really passionate? Because your own sense of purpose can become the most compelling angle, all because passion is truly magnetic. So instead of saying, I do color analysis or I do seasonal color analysis, you might say, I help women reconnect with their radiance by showing them the colors that they were born to wear. That's also going to be a little bit clearer because often if you say, oh, I do seasonal color analysis or I do color analysis, people are like, oh, like you help people figure out what paint to put on their walls. And you're giving them with this other angle a little bit more clarity. Here's the angle. It's not just clear, it's compelling. So next up, we want to think about your message. Your message is the way that you talk about what you do. So here's the golden rule. It should always be client-centered, not you-centered, right? So think about your ideal clients and think about them before they come to you and think about them after they leave you. What were they struggling with before they came to work with you? What was it that was drawing them to you? Was it that they were having a tough time shopping for clothes? Is it because they felt invisible and they weren't getting promoted at work and they weren't being seen? Is it because they really have lost their sense of self and they're trying to, rediscover who they are? Or maybe they're a creative and they're just feeling like there's this whole other level that they haven't tapped into in their creativity because they don't really know who they are. So think about your clients, your ideal clients. What is it that is driving them to come to you? And then how do they feel afterwards? What's changed after they've had their encounter with you? And what is possible for them now that wasn't possible for them before? So when you have the answers to those questions, your message can speak to that transformation that your client experiences. And that message needs to show up everywhere: your website, your social posts, your email signature, even your conversations. Let your message sort of rise above the noise and cut straight to the heart of the person who you are meant to help. Now let's move on to the next one. And sometimes you might think, well, what's the difference between a compelling message and a compelling story? Well, a story is where we get into the actual stories that come out of your business. And your message is compelling, that draws people in, but your stories is really what is the clincher, the convincer, right? Because let's face it, people don't remember facts or, details a lot of the time, but they do remember a story that really speaks to them or really touches them, or that they're just wowed by. And so your stories are something that will be always remembered. So let them see what it is your work can do. Share that transformation story from the perspective of a client or about a client, with permission, of course, because that is going to allow them to see your work in a way that just talking about it doesn't do. And if you're just starting out and you don't have a client yet, tell your own story. What brought you here? Why it matters so much to you? What was your transformative experience in seasonal color and style? Stories can help your clients connect with you in a very real and human way, and they also help the client to see that it could be possible for them as well. Your stories don't need to be long, they don't need to be dramatic, but they just have to be credible, authentic, true, and really from the heart. And that leads us to one of my favorites, I bet you it's your favorite too, which is compelling visuals. This part is especially fun for us as color and style professionals because, hey, visuals is like we're all about how things look, right? And how they align visually in harmony and all of that. So you're going to just love this part. But it starts with you because you're the face of your brand. So let's make sure that you are a visual invitation to the work you do. And I know, and you might have picked up, oh, there's this kind of thing going on in Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. Like, I don't need to dress up. I'm going to, do like just an Instagram live while I'm in my bathroom in the morning brushing my teeth. I'm going to talk to you and no makeup. And, it's very real, very, gritty, very authentic. But you're in the color and style business. So that's really not your most compelling visual. And I do not recommend that. I recommend that you showcase how you have been able to visually harmonize your clothing with who you are, right? With your essence, with your season, with your inherent coloring, so that people maybe don't notice your clothes right off the bat. They're noticing you, but then they're seeing how everything is so beautifully visually aligned together. And that means showing up styled in a way that expresses both your color palette, your season, and your style personality. And we are not all alike. First of all, we're not all the same season, so we're going to show up differently in how we present ourselves. I remember when I first started doing this, it's like I'm a spring. I'm very warm. I'm very approachable. I'm very down to earth. What you see is what you get. And I was looking at all these color consultants who were either dressed very classic or who were very elegant, who were even very creative. And I'm like, I just, I'm not them and I'm not going to be able to be them. I'm never going to be able to pull that off. I'm going to look silly in any of those styles because they really don't resonate and don't visually harmonize with me. So I had to find really the depth of the message that I was pitching to others, which is the most important thing that comes out of seasonal color analysis is that you find who you are. You find your authentic self. You can finally stop living up to everybody else's expectations of what you should wear and how you should look. And you can finally start to visually align with yourself and feel really comfortable and beautiful in who you were created to be. So I'm going to tell you that when you are creating your visuals, do not feel like you need to put on airs and be something you're not. At the same point in time, you need to show up always, always, always in your colors, always in your line of design, always in your best prints and patterns. You need to really showcase the work that you do. And if you need to get help with that, if you need to hire another color consultant to work alongside you to get your image fully aligned with you, do it. Because I say every seasonal color consultant needs another seasonal color consultant. We know that it's not easy to do this yourself. That's why we're doing it for others. It's not easy to see your own self always, and maybe just going on a shopping trip or just having even a conversation with another color consultant who can kind of help you to step into your most visually harmonious style would be really, really helpful for you and will make much more compelling visuals. And then once you have your style and your clothing aligned, then you want to get some fresh professional videos that really feel like you. You want to use imagery on your website and on your socials that support your story, your angle, and your message. Because all put together, boy, that's a really compelling package. And, it's okay to ask for support if you need another consultant, if you need a technical person or whatever to help you do these things, then hire that person. Do some kind of exchange of skills to get the help that you need to really get those stories, those messages, those angles, those videos, those photographs, to get them really aligned with who you are in a compelling way. So here's your challenge for the week. Take a little time to reflect and ask yourself, do I have a compelling angle? Is my message clear, and is it client-centered? Am I telling stories that are really sticking? And are my visuals completely aligned with what I have to say? You don't need to be loud or flashy to be compelling. You just need to be clear, confident, and connected to your purpose. And when that's in place, your people will feel it and they'll come looking for you. Let me know in the comments what's one new area that you're excited to work on to make your message, your story, your visuals more compelling. Or tell me what's something that you've seen lately that you found really compelling for you. And if this video gave you a little spark today, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share it with a fellow consultant who might need it. Thanks so much for spending time with me. And remember, you don't have to chase clients. When your business is clear and compelling, the right people will be naturally drawn to you.